And then real quick, if you support our mission and want to get instant access to all of our webinars and many other benefits, go to greenhomeinstitute.org/become a member today. Big thanks to our top tier sponsor, Panasonic, your #1 source for ventilation needs in new and existing homes. Panasonic features many different products to ventilate bathrooms right for exhaust only or whole house strategies, including more affordable solutions, motion sensors, timers, condensation sensors, and energy recovery ventilators, as well as smart ventilation coming soon. The IntelliBalance 100 is the International Builder Show 2017 Best of Award winner, a customizable high-performance, high-efficiency energy recovery ventilator that can be used in any climate to meet the ASHRAE 62.2. Pick a flow speed selections from 50 to 100 CFM provide truly customizable airflow, balanced, positive or negative pressure, connect to existing ductwork or use as a standalone for whole house solutions. Mervade included, gets up to 13 if you like, and can help reduce the impact on your energy scores. Looking for a cheaper balanced ventilation strategy? Pair a Whisper Green bath with a select cycler to bring in air through the furnace intake and exhaust it out the bath fan. Add an arrange hood pressure sensor to activate the system when makeup air is needed during cooking. We also want to thank our sponsor, GeoComfort Systems. They have earth-powered HVAC to help you and your clients get to net zero energy target easily and affordably. Several projects we have worked on have achieved the Zero Energy Capable certification, as well as many others through low energy but comfortable HVAC systems provided by GeoComfort. Besides forced air, GeoComfort Systems have all new water-to-water systems that can power your water heater, radiant, driveway melt pool, hot tub, and more without additional water heating. And by the end of this year, there's a 30% tax credit that will be going away and dwindling down to lower amounts. But that is still available as of this year. All right, well, welcome everybody to Comparing the Residential Net Zero Energy Certification Programs. This course is approved for 1.5 hours. Continuing Ed, Nary Green, GBCI, BPI NonWholeHouse, AIBD, and Certified Green Home Professional. It's approved for 1 hour in the AIA, Health, Welfare, and Safety, which may make it applicable to your state-based design or contractor license. And we're very thankful to have this course approved by Passive House Institute US as well. So make sure to look for that code if you need that being sent to you after you're attending. So today I will both be your moderator and I'll be your presenter. My name is Brett Little and I'm the executive director here at the nonprofit, the Green Home Institute, located in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And you know, one of the things is that zero energy is becoming very trendy. Everyone's talking about it now. We're more and more teams are striving for this, and it's very exciting to see. And so with that also kind of comes this Wild West approach still, where there could be what we think of zero washing going on, where projects aren't really achieving zero. And so I'm very excited about the third-party certification programs that can help validate, measure, quantify, and communicate and market net zero energy and all the different programs that are available. So I'm very excited for the folks who are joining us here today to really help us talk through what is available through these credible programs and to help people kind of decide which one makes the most sense for them and their clients as zero energy moves forward in the future. And so we're going to be talking about these different programs. And so very first, we're going to have Liz Beardsley. She's the Senior Policy Counsel at the U.S. Green Building Council. Her portfolio includes green building law and policy issues across the international, federal, state, and local spectrum. Recently, her work has focused on connecting building policy to climate mitigation, and she has represented USGBC at 3 COP climate change conferences. She's written about green building policy, building climate issues for outlets such as Governing, USGBC Plus magazine, and the usgbc.org blog. We'll also have Lisa White, who serves as a certification manager for the Passive House Institute US, or otherwise known as PHIUS, since 2012. She is also an instructor for the Certified Passive House Consultant and WUPI Passive Software Training. She holds a degree in environmental sustainability with a minor in architecture from the University of Illinois at Urbana, and has a master's in energy engineering from the University of Illinois at Chicago. Also with us is Andrew Lee, directs the Zero Energy and Zero Carbon certification programs for the International Living Future Institute. In his role, he provides key thought leadership on how buildings will catalyze a shift towards clean and regenerative energy future and serve as the most effective mechanism for climate action. And then finally, and first up, is Sam Rashkin, Chief Architect for the Department of Energy's Building Technologies Office. Sam's primary role is leading deployment of proven innovations for new and existing high-performance homes. This includes helping lead the DOE's world-class research program, Building America, and overseeing the Department of Energy's Zero Energy Ready Home voluntary labeling program for leading-edge builders. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Sam, to take it away, and then we will go from there. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Brett, and I'm glad to see my screen's up. And I'm going to talk to you about the Zero Energy Ready Home program. And I use the name Stepping Up to Zero because, in fact, there is a natural staircase for the industry, the housing industry, to move up more and more rigorous in terms of their performance towards a zero level that we provide and beyond. So with that in mind, I'd like to talk to you about the why. Now, why are we doing Zero Energy Ready Home at the Department of Energy? And the answer is that, in fact, if you don't address building energy use, you just have no chance of addressing the huge challenge to reduce our nation's energy use and to truly address challenges with environmental problems and how to just increase our economy. And the numbers speak for themselves. 40% of energy use in the US is because of buildings. And more significantly, 75% of electric consumption is attributed to buildings. And recognizing that more than half the electric energy in the country, 70% of it's produced by fossil fuels, again, buildings are critical to any strategy to truly have a substantial impact on our economy and our environment. And that includes also about 80% attribution to peak electric demand due to buildings. And of course, the nation's energy bill is substantial, nearly $400 billion. So there is this amazing opportunity by addressing buildings, and that's why we're in this space. And Brett mentioned that zero is kind of trendy right now. I would actually suggest it's a movement. And I'm going to go through a lot of signs that point to why zero is, in fact, on a definitive path for a very near future. And the first data comes from just basic monitoring of builders themselves and what they're doing, what they plan to do. This is done by Dodge Data and Analytics. They're asking, have you built or plan to build net zero, near net zero, or net zero ready? And as you can see from the results of the survey, from 2015 to 2019, it's about 100% growth in planning to build net zero or actually building net zero. So the builders themselves are responding that this is truly a direction for them moving forward. In addition, our own program's metrics are very, very bullish in terms of the movement to zero. This is our numbers since our inception in 2013, and with projections and dashed lines moving to the end of this year. And what's really impressive in terms of our own numbers is that we're doubling in terms of number of Zero Energy Ready Home certifications for over 4 straight years, and will be over 5,000 homes, 5,500 homes at the end of this year. So we're on a tremendous trajectory that is empirical evidence, again, of a zero movement. But beyond us, formerly the Net Zero Energy Coalition, now Team Zero, does annual surveys or census of zero energy units in Canada and the US. And these are their numbers, including the latest 2018 numbers just off the press. And you see the number of homes that have been certified has increased nearly 4x or 400% since they started doing the survey 2015. So again, a very substantial sign now with over 23,000 certified buildings to zero energy performance or zero ready performance out in the market. And then, of course, looking beyond just the zero energy programs, we look at the commitments by mayors globally to a net zero carbon pledge, which means all new buildings at net zero by 2030 and all buildings new and existing by 2015. 6 of these local governments are located in the US. So again, very strong signals of interest. And then we see cities with zero energy codes also increasing across the US. Now 3 that we know about at Boulder, Washington, DC, and Scottsdale, Arizona. In addition to that, states are moving into zero energy codes at an increasing rate, and some have already planned or are about to implement, and some are further along. But essentially, California, Oregon, Puerto Rico, Washington, New York, all states that are aggressively moving towards zero energy codes or zero energy ready codes. And so we have a very strong signs that zero is moving. And the DOE is very interested in zero because of the reasons we laid out. And our basis for our program is to bring the results of our investments in high performance building innovation through the Building America program to the market vis-a-vis our specifications. So I'm going to lay out our technical strategy that builds on the outstanding results of the Building America program. And the key thing that we recognize is that energy efficiency comes at a price in terms of increased risks. In particular, the 3 risks that augment with higher energy efficient performance: moisture, comfort, and indoor air quality. So those risks, in fact, drive the strategy for our specifications. And starting with risk number 1, moisture. What happens when we go from a less efficient enclosure to a more efficient enclosure with increased insulation and airtightness is the thermal and airflow is substantially reduced. Well, the related effect that has is to create colder surfaces inside the cavity on the cold side of the enclosure, outside in winter, inside in summer. And the reason that's such a concern is now the colder surface has more wetting potential, the reduced thermal and airflow creates less drying potential, so we have to be almost bulletproof in keeping moisture out of the assembly. It can't dry if it gets wet. So we have to manage that risk with a very comprehensive water protection strategy. Risk number 2 is comfort, again driven by the reduced thermal and airflow through a more efficient enclosure. And the result of that is you have such a reduced heating and cooling load, there is a commensurate reduction in the airflow needed to go and deliver comfort throughout the house, and much, much longer swing seasons. And the reason that increases risk is that we, as an industry, HVAC industry, have not been rigorous about our designing of duct systems and the selection of registers to disperse and mix comfort throughout rooms. And now we have much reduced airflow with much greater challenges for mixing. So that is a risk we have to manage. We have to be more diligent about how we design, deliver our comfort through the air duct systems, and preferentially locate them inside the conditioned space or optimized because they're much smaller. And second, with the longer swing seasons, we have to address the dehumidification requirements because air conditioning starting so much later in the year and shutting off so much earlier in the year. So there are longer swing seasons without air conditioning that is usually relied on for accidental dehumidification. Now we have to be strategic about ensuring dehumidification during longer swing seasons. And the final risk is with a much increased air tightness in the buildings, we have more potential to accumulate contaminants. So we have to have more aggressive approach to a comprehensive indoor air quality strategy. So those risks, in fact, drive our technical strategy. The first thing we want to do, of course, is optimize energy efficiency. And we do that by meeting and exceeding the latest and forthcoming codes that are out there in the marketplace. As the codes have gotten substantially more rigorous, we find they're pushing closer and closer to an optimum cost-effective level. So we go a little bit beyond them, and we're feeling like we have a very optimized enclosure. Now more than half the energy use in the building is all the components inside the building, equipment, appliances, lighting, fans, and so forth. So we make sure those are efficient as well. And together, the enclosure and the components ensure we have optimized energy efficiency. Now we have to manage the risks or do no harm. So we do that with specifications that ensure comprehensive water protection, an ensured comfort system that knows what to do with reduced airflow and shorter swing seasons, and comprehensive indoor air quality. And the final building block for our strategy is since costs for solar and batteries are getting further and further reduced, it's prudent to do no-cost, low-cost measures that ensure a house can add solar anytime it wants in the future, if not during construction, at no cost penalty and with no disruption to the home. So we add those in locations that have a good solar resource. This is a three-step technical strategy that drives our program. And if you do all three steps, you earn the Zero Energy Ready Home label. Now, I mentioned we want to step up to zero. I'd like to show the staircase, how you get there from code all the way through Energy Star to Zero Ready, and even beyond to the highest level, PHIUS. First, there's a HERS rating that you have to achieve. And the average HERS ratings are shown in this first row, and you can see how they go down from 2009 IECC to 2012, Energy Star versions 1, version 3 and 3.1. And so our average HERS index is about a 48 to 55. It's about 20 to 30% above the 2012 IECC. And then you get another 15% boost if you go to PHIUS with a 35 to 45 average HERS index. And then you look at the enclosure that is part and parcel of each of these steps along the staircase. And of course, you're building from a 2009 enclosure for IECC 2009 all the way up to the ultra-efficient enclosure at PHIUS. We're based on a 2015 IECC enclosure, plus we also require Energy Star windows. Where you see these yellow boxes, by the way, is where we're an additional lift beyond Energy Star. So we require a more efficient enclosure and a more rigorous HERS index. Then independent verification is required. And for us, we use the same HERS verification and same inspection process as Energy Star. And so that's the same for us. PHIUS has an independent PHIUS verification with their own professionals and a different software analysis than the HERS rating program. And then water management, we use the comprehensive checklist from Energy Star. HVAC quality installation and whole house ventilation, we use the baseline from Energy Star. And PHIUS goes up with a heat recovery ventilator minimum. Then we have an optimized duct location beyond Energy Star, the indoor air package from EPA, the efficient components and efficient hot water solutions throughout the house, and then solar ready construction. So the yellow boxes show you the easy lift from Energy Star to get to us, but it's a lift. And if we show you what the lift is from Zero Ready to PHIUS, again, you're going to a lower HERS index, the ultra-efficient enclosure with 0.6 ACH 50. You're using the PHIUS verification process, which is unique and different from the others, and you have to do the heat recovery ventilation. Now, the key thing for us is we wanted to be a staircase in code in the Energy Star program so you can easily go to Zero Ready. So we worked very hard to align with the Energy Star Certified Home program. And if you look at our specifications or national program requirements, they're virtually the same framework. So both begin with a reference home, which is a performance-based verification where the HERS rater puts in the home that's being designed. The software package will create a twin home and insert the reference home specifications to calculate the HERS threshold for either Energy Star or Zero Ready home in a black box in the software. So we both use a reference home to have a variable HERS score based on a rigorous set of specifications, Zero Ready more rigorous than Energy Star, but the same concept to use a reference home. Then we both have mandatory requirements. Again, our mandatory requirements are more rigorous than Energy Star, and we both have a size adjustment factor. Energy Star is planning to phase out the size adjustment factor to align with them. We anticipate doing the same and following suit with that program. So you see how our technical specifications work, how we align with Energy Star, and how we're framed to address the key challenges of a more efficient home. Do no harm. The next key thing that I'll leave you with is our message strategy. Essentially, what we're trying to do is leverage trust, differentiation, clarity with contrast, a superior buyer experience, and partner recognition. I'll give you a very short example, as this would be a way too, it would be way too long for me to go through the whole strategy, but give you a flavor for what we do. And we know we can build trust by being an independent, trusted voice of authority to help builders message that they're part of a very significant program. In fact, the federal government's most rigorous guidelines for high performance homes. So what builders can do is go drop in messaging straight from us that shows that they're part of our program. We say objective statements that bring additional trust to their certified homes. In this case, zero-ready homes are the future of housing, and innovative like Thrive are leading the way for the entire industry. Just a straight objective statement that very effectively leverages the voice of authority of DOE in connection with a builder partner. The other thing we do is differentiation, and the driver for that is the Zero Energy Ready Home logo. Here you see it being used on a construction sign in front of a home being built by Lifestyle Homes in Florida. Again, very powerfully, the builder is differentiating themselves with the logo. So very important part of our messaging. And then contrast is very significant for us. And our key contrast point is Energy Star. Why should you as a builder or a home buyer make the decision to go up from Energy Star to Zero Ready? The other major contrast point would be if you're considering an existing resale home and buying our Zero Energy Ready home, what would be the difference there? Those are the two main comparison points. And the reason existing homes are there is because about 80% of all home sales are existing homes. So we have a green bar for Zero Ready home and a blue bar for Energy Star certified home and a gray bar for an existing home relative to key consumer experiences and attributes about Zero Ready home we think are important to highlight. So if Mr. and Mrs. Jones come in and we learn that they manage health challenges with their children and have inhalers and doctor's visits, we would very quickly circle the healthful environment set of bars, and with tremendous clarity based on contrast, explain to Mr. and Mrs. Jones that every one of our Zero Ready homes includes 100% of the leading expert recommendations for healthy living through the EPA Indoor Air Plus program. And contrast, the Energy Star specifications address half of those recommendations, and an existing home would have hardly any. Wouldn't you agree you want that full protection for you and your children, knowing what a challenge it is every day, helping them breathe better? And simply the clarity, once you have the contrast and what you're giving up, is so much more compelling. So contrast is powerful. The clarity is an incredible part of our strategy. The other thing is the superior buyer experience. And we know that with all the additional protections and features beyond Energy Star and inclusive of what you get with Energy Star provides a tremendous package. We wrap it up by saying Zero lives better, and then we back up with a whole array of sub-experiences. You're saving tens of thousands of dollars over the life of a mortgage, often over $100,000 where solar is included. You have a cozy indoor environment with a thermal blanket protection that ensures just room by room and floor by floor comfort. You have additional total comfort with advanced heating and cooling systems, and you have healthy living with 100% of recommendations by leading experts on health. You have peace of mind not to worry about moisture problems with a whole blanket of water protection from roof to foundation. You have quality assurance that comes from the federal government's most rigorous guidelines for performance with detailed diagnostics, inspection, and testing from independent verification. And finally, you have a house that's built for the future. Your most expensive purchase of a lifetime shouldn't be obsolete in 3-4 years. Our homes meet and exceed future codes. So we lay out all the experiences that you have as a buyer. The other thing we do is build on that by making sure it's empirically evident that these experiences are bankable. So we have the Tour of Zero, where every year we add award-winning homes to a website that lets you take virtual tour of homes in any climate zone. And the key thing about this is there are hundreds of homes all across the country, and home buyers can see if the homes look and feel like homes they want to buy, and they have a completely different experience. In this case, the testimonial brought to the top: no more trips to the hospital, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. We have tremendous array of outstanding testimonials like this, great images of beautiful homes. We have outstanding evidence of, again, tens and tens of thousands of dollars of saving over mortgages. We validate all the experiences that we promise in our core marketing message with the Tour of Zero. And the other way that we leverage a superior buyer experience is we put all the testimonials into a huge database, and then our builder partners can access those across any of the attributes they're interested in and put them into these customizable fact sheets that speak to each attribute. In this case, health, you have a whole series of quotes on the left that are, again, zero energy ready home owner experiences, actual experiences that speak to a completely different level of healthy breathing in these homes. And we have those same quotes for comfort, technology, low energy bills, quality and durability. So builders can kind of bring forward whatever they would want to leverage our database of experiences and use that as an asset for telling the story about these homes. And then finally, the superior buyer experience is also leveraged in a customizable homeowner manual where builders can put their own pictures on the cover, and throughout the homeowner manual, it's basically an education for the homeowner once they're in the home about all the experiences they're going to have that make this a superior home. Partner recognitions provided by first making all of our marketing resources customizable, brochures, fact sheets, virtually everything we do, the builders can put their logo and their contact information on the marketing resources. Additionally, and most significantly, partner recognitions provided with the Housing Innovation Awards each year. They recognize about 25 to 27 builders for doing outstanding work. Among those, 5 builders will be grand winners, but each builder who wins the award, their homes go into the Tour Zero that we just mentioned, and that's how we populate and every year increase the number of homes in the Tour Zero. And then if I had a wish concept for a simple core message that may be impossible, this is how simple I'd love to make zero for consumers. A 2012 code home is about a 5-year enclosure. There'll be another code in another 3, 4, or 5 years. An Energy Star home might be a 10-year enclosure because it's pegged to the current code, and it has some additional features beyond that. A zero energy ready home is a 50-year enclosure because it meets and exceeds future codes. Of course, we mentioned the most efficient option, PHIUS, could be classified as a 100-year enclosure. It looks way to the future with almost the penultimate energy efficient performance. But I think for most consumers, there's so much of the messaging that's so complicated. I'd love to, if there was ever a way to get all of our programs together to break it down to this simple. You're buying the most expensive purchase of a lifetime. Do you want a 5-year, 10-year, 50, or 100-year choice? And I think that would be a very compelling message for consumers. And, you know, I think my time's up, so I want to just leave you with where to get lots of more information about our program. This is the website and email contact address to get more information. So I hope this makes sense and is a useful start in the discussion about the different programs.